Figure King magazine issue number 276 is debuting this month, February 2021, and they had a huge spread of all the new Transformer product we're going to be getting in the near future. They showed us Kingdom stuff, they showed us Studio Series stuff, so we got to see pretty much the Masterpiece-esque Voyager class Dinobot from Kingdom. We got to see Airazor and Huffer and the Fossilizers. Also some Studio Series stuff in Bumblebee. We even got to see Exhaust and the Thundercracker 2.0 from the Masterpiece line. But they also dived into some information and interesting topical stuff in relation to the Masterpiece that's going to come after Thundercracker. We knew about this at the beginning of the year when the Takara PR website announced that we were going to be getting a Masterpiece Skids, the Autobot from 1985. And some people were like, really? That's a weird choice. And even more weirder was the choice of aesthetic, where they're going with a more realistic take as opposed to that of the animation model that Masterpiece has really done up to this point. Even with that, we could see with the 2.0 Thundercracker. We finally had some information today from Figure King magazine that explains the logic behind all of this, and it all starts to make more sense. I'll read the article translated by yours truly right now. Announcing on the official Twitter account at the beginning of this year, the next Masterpiece is that of Skids. Celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Honda City in 2021, this will be a modern take on the original design. We are showing you the first images of the CAD model drawing along with 3D renders. Please enjoy. So that makes a lot of sense now. In 2021, it's going to be celebrating the 40th anniversary of the original Honda City. Now, the Honda City didn't really have a huge impact here in the Western world. It's more larger and higher priced brother, that of the Honda Civic, which pretty much debuted around the same time, has had a well-known and much more popular history that in Western culture. But the City had kept on going in Japan as the slightly cheaper version all those years. To give an example, here in America, we have the Toyota Corolla, and then there was a cheaper version called the Toyota Tercel, which was available in the West Coast. Here in America, we did get the City at some point. It was called the ZT or the ZI, but it wasn't very popular. Everyone took the Civic instead, and the rest was history. And of course, the CRX was another Honda car that was way more popular in the West Coast, in the Western world, excuse me. So the City is being celebrated for its 21st anniversary and all its popularity here in the Japanese market. And that's, again, another thing that I always stress with people when it comes to Masterpieces. Masterpieces choices are primarily dictated by what's going on in the Japanese world in relation to the Transformers brand. That's why it took so long for us to get Soundwave and some of the others, because they weren't as big a deal, Soundwave and Grimlock, as, let's say, some of the other characters in the Japanese world. And again, choosing Skids, getting that Honda connection, Japanese connection, and celebrating the 40th anniversary of a car that has a huge cultural impact in that side of the world, in that country, it makes sense. I understand it, and it'll be really good because it's something that when this product does come out probably later this year, they'll do all kinds of little press conferences and show it off, and if the world was in a better place, you'd probably see it in shopping malls and all the events that Masterpiece used to do back in the day, where they do all these big pop-up events and everything. And I'm pretty sure that the planning for this 40th anniversary of the Honda City Skids happened long before even that of the Big V was a thing in the world with us. So they just have to keep marching forward. So that's very interesting. It's very interesting. Again, we got this new CAD CG image they show us here. Now it's from a different angle. And it kind of gives us a better idea of how the transformation is going to work. And it's pretty much very similar to that of the original toy. It invokes to me a lot of similarities to alternators without that of having a cockpit gimmick of the alternators pretty much. But otherwise, it looks like it's an alternator toy that has just gotten a modern take in a lot of ways. And while Skids did get an alternator, he was the Scion XB back in the day. With the alternators line. In this case, it just works here. It looks really good. Again, using that old 1981 Honda City turbo design. Looks really good. Again, we'll see more when we get some more color images, and of course some actual images of prototypes down the line. All we have is just as these mock-ups. Now we got the CAD mock-up from an angle and the old design line art that we saw at the beginning of January. This is very exciting though, and again, now it makes more sense. Oh, okay, 40th anniversary, celebrating a car that has a huge cultural significance in the Japanese population. Now I understand why they went with Skids and not, say, Jazz. Jazz and Mirage are two loaded ones there, but Jazz or Mirage or some of the other characters, and why they probably even pushed aside that of Trailbreaker and Hoist that they were talking about for a while as doing as masterpieces. But this is great stuff. I'm very excited about it. Let me know what you think. And who should we get after Skids? Like now that they get that out of the way, they got the 40th anniversary out of the way after this one, who should be the next masterpiece? Is it going to be G1? Is it going to be Beast Wars? Or is it going to be something else?